Hey guys, I'm Rocky, owner of Tironi Construction and creator of this channel. I am currently about to start staining a wooden door for my son's room. And I figured because I have some time while I'm doing this, I can kind of go over my story and give a little background and history of myself and why I got into construction and woodworking and why I started this YouTube channel. So I figured now would be a good time to introduce myself and hopefully connect with you guys. So thanks for listening, and here we go. So as I said, my name's Rocky. I am 36 years old. I live in New Jersey, northern New Jersey. I'm about an hour outside of New York City. I've lived here my whole life. I have had a bunch of different careers, quote unquote careers. I've done a lot of different things, but one thing I've always been doing is building things. I love working with wood. I love working with stone. I love working with any set of raw materials and creating something that is valuable and useful for people. As I said, I'm 36. I graduated college in 2012. I went to school for psychology, and for about 10 years or so, I worked with people with developmental disabilities in a variety of different settings. This was a great job, or great jobs. I think I did 3 or 4 different positions total over the course of a decade. And the last job I had in that industry was working directly for a family. And I worked with one individual for about, 4 or 5 years or so. Developed a great relationship with him. He literally became a member of my family. I became a member of their family, I think. And it was just an incredible bond, incredible friendship I grew with this guy. His name was Colin. And yeah, he was a great person to work for. It was a great job to have. And unfortunately, he ended up passing away in January of 2022. So when that happened, like I said, I had already been working in some capacity in that industry for close to a decade at that point. I was ready for a career change. I was ready to try something new. That was as rewarding and as much as I got out of working with those individuals and as much as I enjoyed it, it was a demanding job, both mentally and sometimes physically. And I was just ready for a change. So at that point, I had my son RJ was about January 20. He was almost 1, and we had just bought a house about 2 years before in 2020. And so yeah, having a 1-year-old and a brand new house and a growing family on the rise, it was kind of a transitionary period, I'll say, for me to go and find a new job. Eventually I did. I got a job working in IT, which was something I had been considering. I've always been pretty good with computers and technology and stuff. I started working for a bank, working on the help desk and fixing computers and all sorts of stuff. I was there for close to a year when I applied to some other jobs and to kind of branch out and see if I could work my way up in the IT space. I got hired at a company in northern New Jersey, Planet Networks, as a voice services engineer. Excuse me. Basically, I was hired to build and run their voice services division. We had it was an ISP, so an internet service provider and a managed service provider. But in addition to that, we did phone systems and communication services for people and businesses, residential and commercial. And they didn't have a person, or they didn't have a department or a team to build out the voice services, and it quickly became a very fast growing part of the business. So I was hired, that was January of 2023. I started there. I was there for a couple of years, and it was great. I really enjoyed it. The company that I worked for was growing exponentially those first couple of years. I mean, they had already been around for a little while, but those first couple of years that I was there, and it was an awesome environment to be in. I learned an incredible amount. I installed probably close to 200 phone systems. Some of these phone systems have well over 100 individual extensions and phones. So these are big projects. I mean, I installed them at police departments, grocery stores, huge law firms, like really municipalities. We do a lot of things, and it was a lot of fun, and I learned an incredible amount. So fast forward to 2024, and my son was now 3, coming up on 4 years old, and we started noticing some health issues that he had. He wasn't eating a ton. He started getting rashes and hives, and generally just felt pretty uncomfortable, and he wasn't gaining weight as fast as he was supposed to. So naturally, Casey, my wife, and I were getting worried, and we were scratching our heads, looking and researching every possible thing we could to try and figure out what was going on. We were working with doctors and getting tests and all sorts of stuff done. Come to find out, we had a mold issue in our house, and RJ had already had Lyme disease. He had been bitten by a tick prior, and he had been battling with Lyme disease, and the combination of mold in the house and the certain levels of different types of mold and things that he had in his system, it was a bad combination, and it wasn't doing good for him. So we had to figure out what to do. We basically, to make a long story somewhat shorter, we ended up gutting our entire house. Every single piece of drywall, all the internal non-load bearing framing, we gutted the entire thing down to the studs and the floor joists. It was empty. You could see literally from the bottom of the basement floor to the peak of the attic roof. And when we did that, we hired a mold remediation company to come in, clean the entire place out, do a whole thing. It was approximately a week. They did a really interesting job, which I'm actually kind of interested in learning more about. But yeah, scrubbed everything. He used air scrubbers, mold remediation things, all sorts of stuff to treat the house and get rid of any mold that we had, and obviously any wood and building material that had been infected or contaminated, we got rid of. And over the course of a year, I've been rebuilding the house. So once this happened in November of 2024, so we are now in November of 2025 is when I'm recording this video. So it's been a year since we ripped the house apart. We moved out back then in November of 2024 and moved into my in-laws, to Casey's parents. So over the course of the last year, I've been rebuilding the house from the ground up. Now, we did do some stuff where, like we got some, we upgraded our electrical panel, redid all the wiring and lighting and stuff in the house. I did have an electrician come and do that because I'm not a licensed electrician, and that was obviously much more than I could handle. But everything else in terms of the woodworking, the carpentry, the framing, the bathroom, kitchen, everything that you'll probably see over the course of the next couple of years or so was done by me and people with me. Like my cousin Chris helped me out with a ton of stuff. My brother-in-law Evan, my dad, my father-in-law, so many people around me have helped me a ton. But ultimately, this has been my project that I've been seeing through and designing, building, and taking through completion. While this was going on, about a couple months ago, in the summer of this year, back in July, after talking with Casey, we decided that I was going to leave my job at Planet Networks to open up a construction company. Like I said, I've done a lot of different things over the course of my career. I've IT, psychology, lots of different things. One thing that I've done my entire life, basically, or since I was an early teenager, was build. And my dad was a contractor growing up, so some of the first jobs that I had back then were going with him to help him work. Built the decks, redid bathrooms, we did kitchens, we did all sorts of stuff, and basically anything you could think of. Sub pumps in basements, all sorts of things. So I've been doing this type of work just basically my entire life. I also got really into finer woodworking in high school when I took some woodshop classes. For basically the 4 years I was in high school, I built a lot of different things, some like jewelry boxes. I even built a guitar. It's not completed, but I still have it, and one day would like to finish it. But this type of stuff has always been a passion of mine. I very much enjoy doing it. I enjoy building things and creating and working with my hands. So like I said, we decided as a family that I was gonna leave that job at Planet Networks, and all to their credit, like I said before, it was a great job. One of the great things about that company was the people that worked there, and it just was a great group of people, very kind and open, willing people. What happened was, when I said that I was going to be leaving, they actually offered to keep me on as a part-time consultant, where I would still work on some of the bigger projects that they had, and basically not completely leave the company, but allow me to build my business and ultimately continue rebuilding my house, while still having some sort of job, which I am eternally grateful for. That was totally unexpected, and I very, very much appreciated it. And I'm actually currently working on another, I've done one major project since this whole thing has started, and I'm currently working on another one now, so it's really been fun doing that. But anyway, so during the summer I opened up an LLC, our Tironi Construction, and decided to start my business. Now, that's what that whole backstory kind of leads to now, why I'm starting the YouTube channel. Basically, I'm doing the YouTube channel to document this journey and kind of document some of the processes and the skills and things I'm going to learn and things that I already know, and my story and my journey of going through this whole process. So that's why I'm doing that. Yeah, I do hope to generate some business leads in the local northern New Jersey area. And I know online marketing is a great way to do that, so that's one of the reasons why I decided to do this. This is a somewhat new venture for me. Like I said, I'm more of a kind of a person who likes to work with their hands, which is why I am doing what I'm doing, and basically the whole reason of why I am where I am. So doing something online where it is a technology and you have to be somewhat technologically savvy to do this is a little bit away from exactly what my most passionate and my most passionate skill set is, which it's okay because it's all part of the entire thing of owning a business and putting yourself out there and doing it the way that is going to be most beneficial for the growth and the future success of the organization. So to kind of conclude, that's the whole story about what led me up to where I'm at now. This is a new chapter, and I'm really excited to kind of go down this path and document it while I'm doing it. It's like I said, it's going to be new for me, but I'm hoping to learn and improve along the way. And I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be sharing my story. Hopefully somebody can take something from this, take something valuable and implement it into their own life. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out. I really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed to my channel and spread the word. If you live in northern New Jersey and need something done around your house, let me know. I really enjoy and specialize in doing bathrooms and kitchens, but I do have a wide variety of skills, and I can do most anything except electrical. I don't really touch electrical. So thanks for watching. If you're still here, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to connecting. Take care.